Hey there, David here with a Kopialine drawing I'm working on. This one's sped up, but I thought I would do a little voiceover to explain part of what I'm doing. I decided I wanted to try using some colored pencils instead of just like, regular pencil. I think it was really awesome to do. You can see I've used like some kind of darker colors than the colors I'm actually drawing on. So where there's blue, I'm using a little bit of a darker blue. And then this brown, I'm using just a nice brown. These are Prismacolor colored pencils. And I'm really just trying to like focus on developing the lines a little bit, try to bring them out, but really give the dog some life. And I do this technique, I kind of have a rule I developed. And something I want to talk about in the future too, because when you're drawing a picture, it's useful to have rules that you kind of follow and you get like a certain consistency. So when I do like a darker line, you'll notice there's usually a much thicker end to that line. And that's the rule. The rule is I make a thick end and the rest can kind of go light. And you get a nice look from doing that and following that kind of rule. So here I'm just continuing my drawing. I'm trying to make sense of, kind of where I want some of the shading to be. So the shading, like on the cheek there, on the eyebrow, kind of just rolls over, makes it look a bit rounder. And I'm going to do the same thing here on the nose. So I'm only kind of shading it on kind of what I would say are like more the curved sides, because I'm trying to think of these shapes as round shapes. And even that nose highlight, I actually used a white chalk pencil for that, so I can just add a little bit of white to it. And here I'm working on water droplets that he's flying off his head. I'm trying to make those round as well. And eventually I'll bring black into it. You can see a little bit of that rule there, that rule there in the corner. Yeah, and this is where I'm starting to play with contour lines and making sure that all the lines read well, and it really just helps define the shapes that make up the dog's head. There's some texture on that ear, that little kind of squiggly line. That's just for fun. That's my style, and it's just a little bit of extra flair that I like to add in. So much of drawing is just like preference. It's because it is art. It's an art style. And I'm hoping as people use these kind of copiographic images that they'll discover a bit of what they like about drawing. I like a certain line quality, and I love shading. It took me a while to get used to it and learn to like it, but I think what changed it for me was when I would try drawing pictures without using lines. All you can really do is kind of use shading. And that's when I discovered form, that really you can depict everything with form, and that's really what shading does. It's light and shadow kind of wrapping around three-dimensional objects. So you can turn a 2D drawing like this one to read a lot more like three-dimensional. Now I'm starting to work on just these harder lines. And you just see how it all pops now. It brings it to life. And I really like the colored pencil style of drawing with these books. I think I'm going to have to continue that. And that's it. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you get a chance to draw some yourself.